Hello everyone. So I'm just going to make a quick video updating you guys on Instacart for 2025. I'm still driving around this used Chrysler Town and Country. Nothing's really changed there. Trying to make a change. I haven't really had a lot of activity lately in terms of how much work I've been doing, so I'm trying to make up for that. But the reason why I'm frustrated today is because I did a 53 plus back pay order, $80 order or so over at Lucky, and they completely removed my order for no good reason, just because I took a large order and the Wi-Fi inside of Lucky is not very good. So it cuts out, and if your phone cuts out and has, issues connecting and stuff, sometimes that's a reason for them to just completely cut you off on your order. The thing is, though, is I wasn't even late for this order at all, and it was completely done, and I have a picture of everything. In my opinion, Instacart owes me $126 just because I have to go to court now just to complain that I did an order and I shopped for them, and their app is buggy, and I don't usually have this problem. I finished what would be a 2 hour 15-minute order in like an hour and 45 minutes, and the moment I go to check out, it closes my order for some reason, and that's very frustrating. When I've spent so much time on this order, I went outside at least twice just to update my phone to make sure I can continue the order, and then when I finally got it updated, I go back in line, I go to check out, and it's basically Instacart going like this to me. Well, it's not fair that people spend hours seeing their damn car trying to get an order. They finally get an order. They work for hours, and then they don't get anything. And then think about the diet and what I'm eating in order to be able to even stay out here so long, because that's the thing with Instacart. Everyone always says, oh yeah, I work 12 hours in Instacart. But what was your diet like? Like, what were you eating? How much money did you spend to have that meal? There's things about Instacart that is cringe. Okay, that's cringe. Making me wait in a car and then not paying me after I've worked for you because of your app being buggy, or perhaps someone was just spying on me and decided to prank me and be like, you know what? After he's done with his order, let's just cancel it. Like, it's ridiculous. It's not fair to me at all. And that's why I'm opening up a small claims for $126 against them, because it's just ridiculous. And for 2025, like, you'll see that the hours are sometimes good. So sometimes working for Instacart can be very profitable. I did 70 hours this 1 week. Unfortunately, it was only 1 week that I was able to do that. And then I go and I try to work, and now, there's like more drivers all of a sudden. They just feel like driving. And this is like one of the busiest areas in Central. It doesn't get any better than San Francisco and Central California that I'm aware of. There's like correct me if I'm wrong, but like San Francisco is usually the highest traffic when it comes to borders. And so you have a lot of people coming over here because they know that, and they're trying to make money. But the problem is when there's too many people at once trying to make money, all of a sudden the money gets spread out. There's limits on, how many people can work for an app at a time. That's why when you go to apply, it'll say, oh, sorry, we don't have, any room for anyone else, or apologies. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of gratitude for Instacart. Instacart has definitely given me a lot of money from my labors and stuff like that. But I am telling you that money was not easy to obtain at all. And you think you're making $22 an hour, but in reality, you're only making $22 an hour if you're actually getting orders. If you're not getting orders, then you're not working. And that's the problem with Instacart. And that's why I'm stressing the fact that it's probably better to just start your own company, because honestly, or get a job, just to get I think even a regular job as like a helper, or like perhaps like an independent driver, it's probably better than Instacart. Now, Instacart does have options if you have a box truck, so that's another reason to consider just getting a box truck or some kind of like larger vehicle, perhaps a commercial van, because then you have refrigeration. There's other companies you can work for besides Instacart. It's not that Instacart's not a good platform. I'm just complaining because, I don't like having to work and then not get paid for my labor because of system issues. It's something that needs to be addressed, and I think I need to make this video to show you guys. I'm going to show you some of these screenshots real quick. All right, so this is my weekly earnings. So there was one week where I did really good, made $2,000 here at 70 hours. This is me working like non-freaking stop in order to get this, of course. And then it started to degrade, and I only got 40, and then I only got 21 hours, and then so far I only got 1 hour this week. So it really depends on how lucky you get and how many drivers there are. So basically, my point of this video is I did a shop that was 2 hours long. As you can see, it has about 60 items in there, and I didn't even get paid for this order. They just canceled it on me randomly just because there was bad connection. And as you can see, I contacted customer service, and they said that they cannot compensate me despite the fact that I was working for them, and this is technically their fault. All right, this is the order that I did. This is the cart, this is the location, this is the timestamp, and here's a shopping cart. You can kind of like see the items that I have there that were part of that order. Strawberries, some paper towels, a couple items there. I finished this order. This is a 60 item order. I finished in less than 2 hours, and I'm demanding compensation. It's worth $75, and I'm asking for an additional $50 for this.